This is a wonderful opportunity for our community of Remerg to come together. We did a lot of thinking about how we wanted to talk about this via Zoom. And so just starting out with, if there are any veterans out there, first I want to say Happy Veterans Day. And but I also wanted to say why I founded Remerg. And it was an experience of teaching inside a prison and realizing that there was so much human potential inside. And I think that's what you're going to hear today, is just the potential that's in all of us. And that's what we're about. And I also realized there are so many barriers to getting out and succeeding. And that's also what Remerg is about. So let's do something. We want to do something to help folks to add hope. And also, I also want to spend today sharing our programs. We've added more programs. And so I am really delighted right now. I see Jill Marquand, he's one of the co-chairs. And then Kyle Hansen is also a co-chair of Kyle Hansen and founder of Outward Hound. He's brought an entrepreneurial spirit and is the energy behind Success Through Connections, our new mentoring program. So Jill's gonna take it now and introduce a video that was produced especially for this event, created especially for this event by our intern, Shauna Raby. Her husband, Chad Middleton, did this, starring someone you will get to know. Jill's gonna do a little bit more introduction to it.
Yeah, so this video is basically gonna help introduce you to some of the pitfalls and obstacles and some of the issues that people run into once they re-enter society, back into the natural community. You're going to meet Peter Kim from Connections Ministry. He does a very good job of helping you introduce you to some of the pitfalls and some of the obstacles that people encounter that he works with on a daily basis through his nonprofit organization. So please watch.
So we have an application process for people to fill out so we can vet the people that we're going to help. The reason why we vet them is really for two reasons. One, because we don't have unlimited resources. We're limited in terms of what we have. And that not only is financially, but it's also time. But secondly, because we know the guys, having been inside for 10 years, I feel like I've got a really good grasp on the guys who are going to come out and do really well, and then the guys who are just getting out because they're getting out and they're going to be turning around and going back. Yeah, so I'll give you a really good example. I just met with somebody about 2 weeks ago, and he echoed the sentiment of being really afraid and feeling safer in prison than out here. To the point where he said, I'd almost rather go back. Because he's been in prison for 12 years. The world, the city, the streets that he knew have completely changed. He doesn't know how to navigate because that's not what you're taught. And it's only been a short number of years comparatively to some other people who are getting out after 30, 40 years. But it's difficult, especially when you're alone. And so there is a true sense of fear, not wanting to fail, but always looking over your shoulder going, gosh, what am I doing that might be wrong? Am I supposed to be doing this? Am I supposed to be here? Should I be talking to this person? Can I go look here for a job? You're always wondering and second guessing yourself. Most guys, especially if they've been in for longer periods of time, come out and there's nobody in their life. They really are starting from scratch. Starting from scratch with a job, with resources, with things to kind of survive this world, that's easier. It's hard, but it's easier than starting fresh, starting from scratch with relationships. Because the question is, who are those people you strike up the relationships with? And so for those people, it's a much harder road to travel. You've got to go find stuff to survive, right? You got to go find some clothes. You got to go find some food. You got to find a place to live if you don't already have a place. You got to find some place that will get you bus tokens so you can get from point A to point B. And then you've got to go find a job. And so that's just all within the first several days, because if you don't find a job, then Pearl's going to be on you. If you don't have a place to go, just put your head down at night, then obviously that's an issue. You got to find all of the staples that most people take for granted. I would say it is very, very likely that that person will go back to what they know, which is typically what got them into prison anyway. And the recidivism rate continues to stay high. Yeah, absolutely. There's no other way to sugarcoat that. There's no other way to put additional layers on that. The reality is, if guys aren't supported and helped with tangible things when they come out of the prison, chances of them going back to prison are really, really high. Remerg is one of those places, right? It's a great clearinghouse for a lot of information that people could take advantage of. But having that resource is a tremendous thing, because again, it provides hope. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to provide. We want to provide hope for guys to say, hey, you can do this. Look at us that have done it, and we want to share with you, walk alongside of you, and give you the encouragement so that you can do it as well.
So Kyle's going to take it from here and introduce himself and talk about why he's doing Success Through Connections and what we're doing with that.
I think Kyle has just sent me a message. He thinks he's having some type of internet connection problem. So I can help out here. So Kyle is he's the owner of he just retired from Outward Hound, and it's a huge company. It's a huge dog company that basically produces stuff for everything from dog bowls to, he can tell you about that better. But the thing that's beautiful about Kyle is he has this huge business entrepreneurship mindset that's been very beneficial to all of us. And I think that the beauty of some of the other things he offers to us, he also sees us as humans and as individuals. He helps us in a lot of different ways that enhances not just us as in the business aspect of the world, but also helps us see how we can improve ourselves as who we are as individuals and have a better impact on those we interact with. He's a valued mentor, and at the same time, he will tell you that many of us mentor him. So he's not just a mentor, he's a mentee as well. And I think he was going to introduce us to some of our members of our cohort and some of the great accomplishments that they have created, and they're going to continue to create since re-entering the natural community.
Thank you for that great introduction, Gilles. You want to just go, well, let's just start with Cameron. Cameron, you want to tell us about what you're doing?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Lundstrom. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a Gulf War vet, and when I came back from the war, I began using alcohol and then drugs to cope, and I slid into the criminal justice system. This became this spiral that led to 20 years of relapse and incarceration. Several times I was released homeless with $100 and just said, good luck, and this cycle began over and over again. Today, as I sit here and talk to you, I have 10 years clean and sober. And as I began to put that together on the inside and rebuild my character, I found my purpose. I began working with my brothers inside. And I had this vision of what you would call like peer support or mentorship as we transition back into the community, because that's really where the struggle is, right? You can really, I myself found it pretty easy to keep it together in prison with all the structure and everything. But when you get back out and you have now some adversity and no structure and all these requirements, that's where we begin to struggle. So I had this vision. So when I got out last year, I wanted to put it together. I was all gung-ho. I got a part-time job and began to work on it. And I was lucky enough to hear about Remerg.com. And they have absolutely been instrumental in getting this off the ground. My company is called A Nap and a Sandwich. That is because it's a little joke, because when people were all strung out, I used to tell them, you better go get a nap and a sandwich, guy. You need some sleep. So I do provide peer mentorship and support for those still struggling with addiction. And I have one contract with a state agency. I provide support for parents with substance abuse issues who are trying to get their kids back. And all of this came about from the guidance and support from Remerg and Kyle and Success Through Connections. I couldn't have done it without them. And so I, like all the panelists here today, we are success stories, and we want to thank you for your previous donations and all of your future donations, because it really does matter. It makes a difference in all of our lives. Thank you.
Great to hear from you, Cameron. We couldn't be more proud of you. We were going to go to Kalina next, but she's still having trouble getting on. So Kalina, if you're hearing us, Bill's going to let you in on the webinar. Why don't we go to Rule next? You're muted.
Okay, thanks, Carol. Yeah, my name is Rule Hunt. To give you a little bit of backstory on me, I was incarcerated in 2000. I got an attempted murder charge on the police and was sentenced to 48 years. I spent almost 19 years incarcerated in the Colorado Department of Corrections. And now, fast forward almost 20 years later, I am sales and retention manager. I work for a man who is a New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. He's a renowned motivational speaker. His name is Weldon Long. And I am the manager for his retention and sales department. And I think the important thing, especially to this situation, is to understand how difficult it is, especially for us long-term offenders, to reacclimate back into society. I had never been on the internet. I had never had a driver's license. And I got out into a world that I did not recognize at all. I didn't have my bearing. And I didn't know how to navigate all of those things. And that starts in prison. And that's where Remerg finds us. They come in and they give us resources. Diane Lawson, and it's really not just Remerg, it's the people that make up Remerg. Diane Lawson was instrumental in my ability to even get out of prison, and Carol Peoples. And then, it starts in there. It starts with the mindset and, the feeling of being surrounded with help that you can, step out into this world that you don't understand. And then once you get out there, Remerg is there again. They stand at the fork in the road and show you the right way every time. And they have all kinds of resources that help us to get to a place where we finally feel like we have some stability and we acclimate back into this place that we don't recognize or understand. And then the people like Gilles, they are instrumental too. They've pioneered the path before us, but not too far to where they can really relate to what we're going through. And it's important for us to be able to talk to those people about the struggles that we're having, because it is a different place. You feel like a fish out of water. And so they're there every step of the way, from inside prison through reacclimating. And then we have this Success Through Connections class that once you're stable again, it takes it to the next level. I am super successful. I just got a big house and a car, something I never would have imagined possible. And we're taking this to the next level. And it's all because of Remerg, and more importantly, the people that make up Remerg.
It's great to hear your story, Rule. Thank you. I know Kyle is still trying to get in. Marcus, you're up. Marcus has been out for a while, but I want him to tell you what he's using the Success Through Connections with for what he's working on now, because this guy's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Carol, you want me to jump in here?
Yes, please. Thanks. Sorry, Marcus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Kim. You saw me in the video there. I am so appreciative of Carol and Remerg to be a part of this Zoom meeting today. Excited just to partner with so many groups out there. A lot of the guys that you see on your screen, that I see on my screen, they're all friends of mine, and some people I have done even some time with. I did 10 years in prison. I like to tell people that it wasn't the charges that took me to prison, but the evidence that I produced in my life that supported those charges. And truly, when you boil it all down, it just comes down to the fact that I lacked character and integrity. It wasn't having a good family or an education or even a good job that kept me going. It was the fact that those things were all facades, and they were really kind of the masks that I wore. It was my lack of character and integrity that took me to prison, and being in prison was a wake-up call. It was a gigantic wake-up call for me, obviously, and I started to be involved in various things that really helped me to move myself in a different direction. And so, to make a long story short, I got out about 2 years ago, and when I got out, I was blessed to be able to get a job fairly quickly. I was blessed to have maintained some very close connections with some friends and some family that really provided great support for me. But I remember one day thinking, what about all of my friends who are going to be getting out soon, and who's going to support them, who's going to walk alongside of them? And from that was born the idea of Connections Prison Ministry. I was able to really connect with a lot of other groups, including Remerg. I wanted to see who was doing what out here. Didn't want to just replicate what other people were doing, but to kind of fill in the gaps, if you will. And so through that, we've been able to develop a program that helps provide cell phones, opportunities for housing and employment and transportation. Even thinking about clothing, I think about that. There's a lot of clothing banks out there that you can go and get a pair of jeans and a shirt, maybe even a jacket. But where do you go to get things like underwear and socks? And so those are things that we've been trying to fill the holes and the gaps with to help people succeed as they're moving forward. Just some tangible things, but most importantly, and where I feel like working with Carol and Remerg has been a huge benefit, is just developing the relationships with people. Because when there's relationships, there's accountability, there's a connection that happens. And really, to be able to just call someone and talk to them is a huge step forward. And I know that Cam is involved in a lot of peer mentoring and those kinds of things. And that's really kind of parallel to that. It's just a lot of connections through relationships besides just the tangible things. And it's been a tremendous blessing to work not only alongside of Carol and Remerg, but some of the other gentlemen that you see on this panel here. So thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Peter. It's so great to see what you're doing with your nonprofit, which also needs support, may I say, to everybody. Connections Prison Ministry. And because Peter is going to outside the prison and picking people up, and he is taking so much stress out of the way for people. And it is people like Peter who do this, who make such a huge difference. Hey, Marcus, let's go back to you and try real quickly. I know if not, I'll just explain. I know that what the connection did. Marcus, can you talk for a few minutes and see if we can hear you? Let's have Jill wrap it up then.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gilles Marquand. I'm the owner of Good Measure Home Solutions. My history is similar to many of the histories that were shared with you today. So I'm gonna go more into what I've helped create here through success, through connections, and also with my company. Good Measure Home Solutions we specialize in residential remodeling and renovations. Our specialty right now is we work with a lot of investors in turning properties, which is, we always talk about from tenant to tenant. So when they have a tenant move out, they bring us in to do whatever type of renovation or remodeling they need, such as something as simple as a paint job to something as complex as paint, appliances, countertops, cabinets, carpet. You could think of all the renovation ideas. We have excelled past that point to where we're a part of 2 fix and flips in the real estate world, as you know. We weren't the major contractor on there, but we were a part of it. We brought in a lot of subcontractors to do some framing and some window replacements and also some drywalling. Thankfully, through that success and through the relationship we built with some of these investors, we've now have 2 projects where we are the majority contractor on each one. one project, I'm actually the project manager. So it goes, the hierarchy is the owner, which is the investor, and then me. So, I mean, it's a growth thing that's been very substantial to me and to my company. So that's beneficial. And so currently, besides those two flicks and flips that we're working on, we're the majority my company is the one that hires the majority of the subcontractors. We're also doing 6 other turns for other individuals, and all 6 are major turns for each apartment. So, and 4 of these are basically because of our previous work. They brought us in to do the flip with the whole intent of selling. So we have a pretty good success rate with the properties that we have done full flips on, and they've been so nice. They sell them. I mean, and this market is so high, the values are so high. So that's one of our talking points I like to always mention to people. I have 2 basically concepts. It's a measure twice, cut once. That way we don't do any extra work, and we save money on labor and material, and on the dollar. So basically our bid is what we give. And and besides, of course, there's always this change orders, but if we bid on a certain job and outside of any major differences, we stick to that dollar. We don't raise anything because project labor took us a little bit longer than we estimated or nothing. We stay on our bids. So we have a pretty good relationship with that. Success through connections is very, very, very vital to me in the process of, I'm jumping into something that I don't really have much work experience in because of my incarceration. So I've been able to use success through connections and the mentors that are on part of success through connections to help me gain the confidence to basically take the steps to understand that I have the knowledge and I have the workers who can do these jobs, and not to let my fear-based thinking keep me from moving forward and growing. They've also reminded me the importance of business development, and working on your business, not always in your business. These are things I would never known. So I'm very helpful for the mentors who are around, who help me learn these simple business techniques that people know, but also I like it because they help give me encouragement. They give me inspiration. They never let my struggles or my obstacles stay that way. They teach me about a struggle is just basically a way to find a solution. And that's what we do at home. Good Measure Home Solutions. We find the solution. So that's good measures is here because of success through connections. We're successful because of our connection to the community that is a part of success through connections. And many of you out here that are in this audience, our relationship development is the reason why I have the courage to make these steps forward. And I thank all you, and I thank all my mentees and mentors.
Thank you, Jill. My heart is full right now listening to you guys talk about what you're doing. And I think I hope the audience is getting a sense of why we launched it this way, because, Kyle's idea as an entrepreneur and how he was incubated. His ideas were incubated when he was starting out. And that's what he's bringing to this, except he just happens to have some incredible connections as well that he's hooking up people with. And so, this is exponential. I mean, yeah, we could just do a mentoring program, but we're deliberately looking for people who are doing big things or on the cusp of doing big things. And so, I mean, the ripples are huge that are coming out from these individuals. And I thank you all for sharing your stories today and letting our audience know more about it. Jill, let's skip this next section, and so we can go into talking about employment, because we've got another video and I want to be careful of the time that we have. So I just want to talk, we started another program, and that's just more of an intentional focus on employment opportunities for people. And so toward that end, we hosted an event earlier in the year pre-COVID, that was like 100 years ago, for DORA, the Department of Regulatory Agencies, on licensing. We had a community meeting, and we're trying to help restrict those or get those licensing barriers down, because those are good jobs. A lot of those jobs that have to require licensing. We are partnering on a Pathways Home grant. This is a $4 million grant that is coming down to the Department of Labor and Employment for Colorado through the workforce centers. Remerg is there, going to be partnering on that, as just helping to get the publicity out. No money on that one yet, though, but we do a lot of work like that. But we also have been helping the Attorney General's Office of the Attorney General for Colorado with some work that they're doing. They're going to do a big event later this year to create more fair chance or fair opportunity employers and educational materials online. And so that's been more of our work with Remerg. And so I reached out to the Attorney General to say, would you do us a video? And I have one to share. So we're going with, I want to share that with you now.
Here at the Colorado Attorney General's office, we're committed to improving our criminal justice system. A critical part of this effort is working on re-entry programs, programs that help people leave prison and build a new life for themselves. Because too often, when someone leaves, they don't have a life, a place to live, a support system, a job, and they commit crimes. 50% of people are reincarcerated within 3 years after leaving. That involves people being hurt or crimes being committed and lives that could have been rebuilt ending up back in a hole. We have to do better. Remerg is an organization committed to that proposition, committed to providing a range of services for people so when they leave prison, they're not on their own. Carol Peoples, who's leading this organization, is making a real impact, helping Colorado address what all of us need to focus on. How do we act with humanity towards people who want a second chance in life? How do we prevent crimes by helping people build a productive life for themselves? This takes work. This takes partnerships. We're excited to work with Remerg and other organizations to move the needle. When we put our mind to it, we can do great things here in Colorado. We can solve difficult problems. And when government works with community organizations, with the private sector, we can get great things done. So I'm proud to work with Remerg to be someone who's committed to addressing this issue and find a better way forward. Thank you all for your engagement.
We couldn't ask for a better Attorney General. I've never seen one who's so interested in reentry. He talked about it when he was on the stump, and I'm so pleased that his office continues to be so engaged in the whole process of reentry from prison and helping to eliminate those barriers or reduce those barriers. So just another little update about, because my baby is Remerg.com. We're boasting about what we've added on, but my baby has always been Remerg.com and trying to do something about resource information. So I just want to let you know, we keep improving it and adding to it. We're up to almost 1,000 resources, almost 14,000 users so far this year, 20,000 maybe in 2020, I'm hoping. But it's not just a list. I keep telling, to remind people, we're talking about teaching people how to use resources and how to navigate resources. And that's a little bit more than some of the other things. And then, but we've also been partnering with county jails and getting those videos into them. And so I just wanted to, as I was getting ready for this event, I thought, well, I'm going to do a little video on the Remerg community around Remerg.com. So I reached out to some of the people who are involved in Remerg.com, county jail, our volunteers, and also I asked a couple of board members, longtime board members, why did you do this? And then I reached out to a couple of people that you'll hear from at the very end, and I made a little video. I got a little intrigued, folks. I got a little intrigued with the flying letters. I'm sorry I couldn't get it fixed before it started, so you might have a lot of flying letters on this, but I want to show you my little video on the Remerg.com community.
We've been partnering with Remerg.com for the last few years, and what a lot of people don't know is that prior to COVID, we were releasing about 100 people a day from the Denver jails. Currently, we're releasing about 50 people a day from the Denver jails because our population has decreased due to the pandemic. And so that's 50 people every day that are releasing from Denver jails that really need information about what resources are out there that can help them. And so we provide Remerg.com cards to make sure that people are educated and they know that they can go to this great website to get information on a variety of different resources to help them with their reentry. In addition, we utilize the videos that Remerg.com produces, and we play them in the jail when we're able to in order to help people prepare for their release.
There's an old teaching in Judaism called Tikkun Olam, and it roughly translates to repair the world. And the basic idea is that you're not responsible for everything that's wrong in the world, but you do have a responsibility to try and help fix things. And that's always resonated with me personally, and it's a connection that I see in volunteering with Remerg.
Hi, this is Diane Tramatola Lawson. I'm a board member of Remerg.com, and I started Colorado Cure in 1990. We're an all-volunteer international criminal justice advocacy organization, and through my work with people coming out of jails, prisons, community corrections, I got so many questions and concerns people wanted to know about housing, voting, family issues, bus tokens, you name it, and medical issues. And thank God I found Remerg.com, because if you go to their website, they answer so many of those.
Well, I mean, it really just comes down to having a passion for reducing recidivism. I ran into with my clients that their biggest issue of anxiety and struggle was just knowing whether or not they were going to get what they needed when they got out, you know, for like food, a job, housing, or maybe a pair of eyeglasses.
I'm a teacher at the Denver Women's Correctional Facility, and I get the questions that Remerg can answer. So my students are getting ready to leave, they're going to community or they're going to parole. They want to know, I need a phone, I need a computer. I've got a condition, a medical condition that needs to be taken care of. And we can go to Remerg in those easy categories and bring them down, and then search what employers might they want to apply for. That information is on Remerg.
I contacted Remerg, and they did more for me in a matter of days than I got done here in 6 months. And my heart just goes out to people that care about other people and respond when somebody asks for assistance. Thank you so much.
Remerg made the biggest difference in my progress from DOC through the halfway house. As soon as I got to the halfway house, I reached out to Remerg, to the website, and I gave you a call. And I was given resources as far as getting my resume ready, being job ready, finding clothing as far as getting access to work and interview clothing, and just all sorts of resources as far as getting to interviews. And you know, the biggest difference was being treated like a person and making me feel like I could contribute, and giving me back that confidence that I had lost through the process. And I just think that it made the biggest difference in my life. I'm gainfully and happily employed in actually my dream job, and I just couldn't be happier.
So I want to thank everybody who helped me out with that video. And Margot, you're next.
Great, thanks, Carol. I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming today, and have Bill throw up the QR code slide. My name is Margot Platz Rodriguez, and I'm a board member of Remerg. I've been with Remerg since its inception, about 5 years now, and I've watched Remerg go from just a dream to actually a reality. So over the years, Remerg has delivered such an amazing website with a trove of resources, to now this mentorship program, Success for Connections, where you heard from panelists and learned a lot about what people are doing. So today we're asking our community of supporters, everybody on this call and everybody watching, to please this is a call to action. We're putting a call out just to ask people to make a donation today. We want to make sure the donation is meaningful to you. It's easy to do. You can do it from your desk, from your couch, or directly from your phone. Just scan the QR code on the screen, or you can go to remerg.com and donate there. Thank you all so much for your support. Carol, back to you.
Thank you, Margot. I am blessed by my board of directors. They have my back, and I am thankful for all of you who are on today. Many of you have been supporters of Remerg from the very beginning. I hope today we've shown you why we do this work. It's just, going back to that first conversation of walking into a prison and realizing there's so much human potential inside a prison, and then just realizing, what do we do when we get out? So I just want to thank everyone for showing up today and for supporting Remerg, and thankful for everyone who believes in second chances and the potential within everyone. And I am thankful, especially these chat. I've never seen a chat go like this. It has been wonderful. You guys have put in so many wonderful comments, and I will be looking and reading these again and again. But thank you for that. And I had something else I just wanted to say, but no, I just lost that. Anyway, that's enough. Thanks. And Jill, will you take it away? My co-chair, Jill Marquand. Jill had the final word.
So we here at Remerg, and thank you guys for all participating. And as far as success through connections, we are looking for mentors. There's a value that every single one of you can offer us. And for those of you who think you can't, just to let you know, I have this little simple device right here, right? It's called a self. So I had a little 10-year-old niece and a 12-year-old nephew who helped me learn how to use this fancy device that's called a smartphone. So, I mean, everybody out here has something that they can offer, or some type of knowledge, some type of life experience that can help basically build a community around individuals that can help transform their life. We believe that the most valuable asset to helping people be successful on the streets, besides all the things that Remerg can offer you, is also the community, the outside community. People have talked about the power of acceptance, the power of positive relationships, the power of inspiration, that and hope, and continuing your hope process that comes from the community. So we reach out to all of you guys to continue that process, to continue to volunteer, to continue to donate, to keep Remerg alive, to keep programs, innovative programs such as Success Through Connections, and help us build our community bigger. And we ask all of you to not only just contribute generously through your funding, but we also ask you to contribute through your time and volunteer to be a mentor.
And with that, we wish you adieu. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you, Stacy, and all the panelists.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Brian.
Great job.
And all those inspirational chats. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finally remember what I wanted to say, and that was, I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties. Thanks for your patience. But we did it. Oh, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
You guys are like family.
That's right.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, hey, Carol, if how long do we have still on this video? I was just wondering if there's any Q&A, if anybody had any questions that are still on that might ask a question or something.
Great idea. If anybody's still on and wants to ask questions, Bill can open up the mics for people. Just put it in the chat if you have a question.
Or put it in the chat, yeah.
And then Bill will let you, or yeah, if you just put it in the chat.
I think there's a lot of questions concerning Cameron, Rule, and Peter for sure about their organization. So I think it'd be good to be able to answer some of those.
Yep.
I think we did.
Ask us anything.
Yep, open.
And all the attendees are allowed to unmute and speak.
How many are left right now?
Oh, a dozen or so.
Okay, if anybody's still there.
I'm here.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi.
I like Kenneth better.
Mute my microphone.
Hi, my name is
that?
Bryant. I had a quick question for you
Hi,
guys.
Bryant.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you so much for sharing all your stories. I was wondering, you all kind of went into different industries when you were looking for work, and I was wondering if any of you were following your passions, or if you weren't, and it was kind of a discovery process. How did you end up or land the jobs that you did?
I can start. So I basically sealed my job while I was in prison. My boss is a New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. He was also in prison. He's a renowned motivational speaker. He's a entrepreneur. He owns a bunch of different businesses, but he goes back in and speaks because he wants to contribute. And he wrote a book called The Power of Consistency that is basically a blueprint from the prison cell to a life of prosperity and success. And while I was in prison, I was a mentor. I went to college. I did a bunch of stuff to prepare to get out. And so I was doing well. And the prison staff, the pendulum kind of switched from lock them up and throw away the key to the importance of rehabilitation. They understand that 95% of all of those incarcerated will someday get out. So they decided they wanted to help reacclimate people back into society. And they came to me and a couple of my friends who were mentors at the time and asked us if we could help and what would we do. And so me and a couple of my friends helped create a program based on his book, The Power of Consistency. And they gave him a call and said, hey, we've got some guys that's created a program to help reacclimate prisoners back into society. Is it okay if we use it? And he drove down there and we presented it to him. He helped me teach it a couple of times. I don't want to take up too much time, but I got my job right then. So when I got out, he hired me on the spot. And it's exactly what I want to do.
Cool.
And you're good at it.
Very good.
Yeah. I'll go next. So absolutely, I found my purpose and passion in what I do. I struggled for almost 20 years in my addiction. And I realized while I was out there going through it, that there's a terminal threshold where everything in your life becomes messed up because, right, all the consequences of your actions as you've put them off because of the addiction began to come down on you. And and once you reach that stage, it's very easy to walk away from everything, right? You get to that point where the mass is too much for you to handle. Like the rent's not paid, the house is trashed, the relationships are all messed up. Maybe you've got some court cases that are pending and you just say, you know what, I'm out of here, and you throw your life away. And I realized that when they're out at that terminal threshold, it really doesn't take a lot to get them right back away from it, right? That's, as human beings, when we're really close to the edge, that's when we have that move to change, right? When you get up there and you realize, man, I got to make a change, right? There's that window of opportunity as well, right at that terminal threshold. And so even while I was in my addiction out there, I began trying to help people. And so, but of course I was still using myself and I couldn't keep it together. And once I did finally get a long enough period of time to maintain my sobriety and to rebuild myself, that purpose came back, that vision came back, and it's fulfilling. My life has come full circle now. Even to the point where, I work with parents right now. I myself am a product of the DNN system. I was taken away from my mom when I was a child. And then I went through it as well as a parent when I was going through my addiction. So it's fulfilling and it's great. And I just want to thank all of the people who are involved in promoting and supporting the change that's coming about now.
Brian, I don't mind sharing as well. I appreciate the question. Thank you for asking. I would say that I have a passion to want to help and serve. I think I did that prior to even going to DOC, and in the assignment that I received in the prison, I was able to do that as well. And I got out and just needed to find a job, and ended up getting a job with AT&T. And but that was just a job. And it was not what my passion was. And so while working for AT&T and still working for AT&T, trying to develop my passion, which is just to help people and serve. And this has been a tremendous avenue. I know all of the important people that were a part of my life who really helped me to not only get on the right track, but to stay on the right track. I wonder who does that for others, especially when they're coming out of DOC with very little connection with people, no relationships with anybody. And I just feel like it is something that I truly want to do, is to help people succeed and find success. And I know that it takes not only tangible resources, but relationship connections. And hopefully we are providing that opportunity through what we are doing. But when you go back to your original question of just finding something or detecting it, yeah, I really feel like I detected what my passion is when it comes to helping and serving others.
I just want to point out, Brian is an entrepreneur himself. He runs Cobeo. It's an app for finding jobs, and
wow,
you're developing it in another way. We have another conversation coming up soon, so thanks for that. There's some. I was just looking at who's.
Carol, do you mind if I just tell them the basis of the app real quick?
No, not at all. Please.
And also, I talk with Nadine also. So you guys are great. So the basis of Cobeo is people don't always get to do what they want, right? And it's usually a struggle, especially trying to find jobs. And so what we do is we actually empower the employee. You can go in and select the exact days and times that you're available to work. So let's say you're a parent, let's say you want to go back to school, let's say you have another job you want to work around. And then you can pick how much money you want to make per hour. And you know how much you need to pay your bills. So we calculate kind of what you're going to make each month. And then you can pick skills. So the skills that you have or things that you want to learn. So if you want to learn how to be a welder, or you want to learn how to do face-to-face customer service and sales, you can pick those certain skills, and you can you'll have jobs that offer those training opportunities. And then you can also pick your location. So if you don't have a car, you can select a radius around where you live, so you can walk to work, or it's an easy commute. And then instead of searching for jobs, when there's a job match, you get a notification, and if you like it, you're sent the application, or you can chat directly with the manager. So we launched a couple of years ago in Denver, and we were in the food service, and then coronavirus shut everything down, and now we're going into all industries across the board, and we're doing skills-based hiring, not just by job title. So
yeah.
Excellent.
You did
and can you spell that app? Can I download it from the Play Store?
Yes, you can. It's Cobeo, like Kobe Bryant, Kobe, and then YO, Cobeo.
Okay.
And we're relaunching in December here. So yep.
That would be that can really help some of my clients for sure.
That is the project that I'm managing both on the sales and retention side. My boss created an app for the HVAC and plumbing industry. So very cool.
That is cool.
Awesome. That's
what
a
couple other people,
about, right?
Sorry, we got a couple other people who I'm watching the names. Let's see, and I might just call them out. I don't know, Mika, if you want to talk. Mika Houston is like the best community reentry specialist I've ever met, and she's listening in. I know she's got COVID, so she also is not feeling very well.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, Mika, thank you so much for showing up. Is there anything you want to just tell us, Mika? She's staying quiet.
Yeah, probably not feeling very well.
Thanks so much, Mika. I think let's just wrap it up. I'm seeing the people who have stayed late. Thank you again for joining. Everyone have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.